Michael Jordan, born February 17, 1963 in Wilmington, North Carolina, would become the greatest basketball player of all time. But his path to greatness was forged through rejection, heartbreak, and relentless discipline. From a small working-class home, he absorbed lessons that shaped both his character and his drive. His father, James R. Jordan Sr., labored tirelessly to provide, while his mother, Dolores, balanced work with instilling discipline and dignity in her children. Michael's early life was structured, filled with expectations, and devoid of shortcuts. Love and intensity intertwined in his home, creating the foundation for a man who would redefine excellence in every arena. Childhood lessons and strength. In the Jordan household, lessons came from both challenge and example. Michael looked up to his older brother Larry, whose speed, strength, and skill consistently outshone him in backyard games. For years, Michael felt unseen, often believing greatness belonged to others. His father, however, recognized his potential and pushed him harder, emphasizing effort over innate talent. James taught Michael the importance of resilience, the value of setbacks, and the quiet power of persistence. These lessons were delivered through discipline, conversation, and shared moments in the backyard. Michael's foundation was not built in gyms or arenas, but in moments of quiet, grueling preparation where character met opportunity. The agony of rejection. At age 15, Michael faced a defining moment that would shape his destiny. Standing in the hallway of Emsley A. Laney High School, he scanned the varsity basketball roster and found his name absent. Heart sinking, pride wounded, he walked home and cried, feeling the sting of inadequacy. The cut was a lesson in humility, igniting a fire that would consume him for the next decades. That night, his father's words resonated. Every great man rises from rejection. Alone in his room, Michael picked up a basketball, each bounce echoing defiance. What began as heartbreak became the raw fuel for a legend in the making. Early grind and transformation rejection became the crucible in which Michael forged his talent. He woke before sunrise, running drills until exhaustion blurred his vision. Practices left his hands raw, muscles shaking, and teammates quitting before him. Every shot, every sprint, every repetition was an act of rebellion against mediocrity. Pain became discipline. Humiliation became hunger. Through endless mornings and evenings, Michael internalized lessons of focus, determination, and precision. Behind the scenes, the quiet pride in his father's eyes fueled him. The boy once overlooked grew taller, stronger, and unstoppable, setting the stage for a rise that scouts could no longer ignore. From high school to Chapel Hill, by his senior year, Michael had emerged as a basketball force, averaging over 25 points per game and commanding respect from every defender. His hard work led to a scholarship at the University of North Carolina in 1981, where he faced new challenges. Dorm life was isolating, coaches were exacting, and the scale of college basketball dwarfed his small-town expectations. Dean Smith's practices were brutal, demanding teamwork, sacrifice, and obedience. Yet Michael adapted, absorbed, and evolved. On March 29, 1982, he sank a game-winning shot in the NCAA championship against Georgetown. 17 seconds left, a swish that defined his emergence and brought tears of pride to his father's eyes. Entering the NBA, selected third overall by the Chicago Bulls in 1984, Michael Jordan became the solution to a franchise desperate for a savior. Though slender and underestimated, his hang time and athleticism amazed spectators. Behind the fame, however, he carried the weight of expectation and the memory of every rejection. His rookie season saw him average 28.4 points per game, earning Rookie of the Year. Nike's Air Jordan 1 launched in 1985, banned by the NBA for uniform violations, yet became a cultural phenomenon. The shoes represented ambition, defiance, and aspiration. Fame, however, was not enough. Michael still sought mastery, driving himself relentlessly despite physical pain and public scrutiny. Facing adversity and obstacles, championships did not come immediately. The Detroit Pistons' Jordan rules strategy physically punished him and derailed his playoff dreams 3 consecutive years. Each loss intensified his obsession with perfection. Behind closed doors, exhaustion, frustration, and pressure became constants. Yet Michael's resilience was unshakable. Sleep became a luxury, and teammates struggled to match his relentless energy. Pain, both physical and emotional, was absorbed silently, transformed into a weapon. Michael's focus sharpened, and by 1991, the Bulls captured their first NBA title, the culmination of years of effort, discipline, and refusal to succumb to failure. Triumph had been earned, not given. Triumphs and global influence. From 1991 to 1993, Michael led the Bulls to 3 consecutive championships, redefining basketball and sports culture globally. Endorsement deals with Gatorade, Nike, and McDonald's transformed him into a household name. Annual earnings surpassed $30 million, and his image became more recognizable than many world leaders. Yet, with fame came isolation. Friends became scarce, privacy vanished, and trust grew fragile. Michael learned that power carried a price. Even as the world celebrated his victories, he navigated profound loneliness, and the pressures of perfection weighed heavily on his shoulders. A father's tragic loss. In July 1993, Michael's life was shattered by the murder of his father, James R. Jordan Sr., during a robbery in North Carolina. The man who had been his mentor, motivator, and moral compass was gone. Michael's grief was immeasurable, a wound no championship could heal. He retired from basketball in October 1993 at the peak of his career, stepping away from a sport that had once been a shared bond with his father. He briefly pursued baseball, playing for the Birmingham Barons, not for fame or money, but to honor the connection he had lost. Every swing, every strike, was a private tribute to a man who shaped his life. Return and redemption. Michael Jordan returned to basketball in 1995, his competitive fire reignited but shadowed by grief. He led the Bulls to another three-peat, securing 6 championships in total, yet the victories were tinged with sorrow. Every triumph reminded him of absence, of the father who would never again witness his greatness. On and off the court, Michael carried these losses silently, embracing the lessons his father had taught: resilience, humility, and determination. Success had returned, but it had evolved. The boy who was cut from his high school team had become a man who could face the heights of triumph while navigating the depths of personal loss. Mentorship and shared loss. Years later, Michael faced another devastating blow with the death of Kobe Bryant on January 26, 2020. The young star whom Michael had mentored and guided perished in a helicopter crash. Jordan's grief was immediate and profound, tears flowing freely. Kobe had been like a younger brother, a student who mirrored his relentless work ethic. Michael delivered a eulogy honoring Kobe's life, family, and legacy. These losses, stacked one atop another, forged a man who understood pain, responsibility, and the weight of influence. His strength was visible not in absence of suffering, but in his ability to continue carrying the torch despite it. Wealth, legacy, and discipline. Today, Michael Jordan's net worth hovers around $3 billion, largely derived from the Jordan brand, generating over $5 billion annually, with royalties exceeding $150 million per year. His real estate holdings include estates in Illinois, North Carolina, and Florida, each reflecting his meticulous attention to detail. Private jets, luxury cars, and watches mark success, but more than possessions, they symbolize a life built from relentless effort. Every acquisition is a testament to decades of discipline, sacrifice, and vision. Yet for Michael, true wealth lies not in objects, but in lessons imparted, family nurtured, and the impact left on generations of athletes and fans worldwide. Family, philanthropy, and presence. Married to Yvette Prieto since 2013, Michael treasures his twin daughters, Victoria and Isabel, while nurturing older children Jeffrey, Marcus, and Jasmine. Presence, once overshadowed by fame, now matters most. He cherishes quiet dinners, conversations, and sunsets. Philanthropy has become central, with donations to clinics, youth programs, and scholarships reaching hundreds of millions. For Michael, success without service is incomplete. He demonstrates that greatness is not just measured in points, titles, or wealth, but in the ability to uplift others. His life now balances achievement with meaning, reflection with impact, ensuring his legacy extends far beyond the hardwood. The full circle. Michael Jordan's story comes full circle, from the boy cut from varsity basketball to the global icon dominating the sport, to the billionaire reshaping industries, and now the father and philanthropist valuing purpose over applause. His journey illustrates how strength grows from rejection, how resilience emerges from heartbreak, and how even the most legendary figures carry invisible scars. Michael's life is a testament to relentless effort, unshakable will, and the quiet courage to face both triumph and tragedy. Greatness, he proves, is not merely achieved, but lived, endured, and shared with the world.